The United States $2 bill is one of the most fascinating, misunderstood, and mysterious pieces of American currency. Despite being a legal tender note, recognized and backed by the full faith of the U.S. government, just like the $1, $5, or $100 bills, the $2 bill carries with it an aura of rarity, superstition, and curiosity. People who encounter it in daily life often wonder whether it is still valid, whether it is discontinued, or whether it is secretly worth far more than its face value. The truth about the $2 bill is both richer and more complex than most people realize, and its history stretches back nearly 2 centuries. In this video, we are going to take a deep dive into the origins, the design changes, the cultural associations, and the collector value of the United States $2 bill, explaining in clear detail how this unusual piece of currency fits into the nation's financial system and why it continues to spark so much attention. The $2 bill first appeared in 1862 during the Civil War, when the U.S. government needed to issue new forms of currency to finance the war effort and stabilize the economy. At that time, the bill featured a portrait of Alexander Hamilton, the nation's first Secretary of the Treasury. The note was larger in physical size than today's currency, what collectors often call a large-size note. These large notes were issued in various forms, including United States notes and later silver certificates, and the $2 denomination was considered convenient because it was equal to 2 silver dollars, which were heavy coins that many people preferred not to carry in large quantities. In 1869, the design changed, and the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, replaced Hamilton. From that point onward, Jefferson became the face most associated with the $2 bill. This choice was not accidental. Jefferson was seen as a symbol of democratic ideals, individual liberty, and the nation's agricultural roots. By putting Jefferson on the $2 bill, the government tied the denomination to the values of independence and leadership. Over time, collectors and the general public began to associate the $2 bill almost exclusively with Jefferson, and that connection continues today. The reverse side of the $2 bill has gone through several dramatic changes. Early designs included ornate allegorical figures and classical-style engravings representing themes like science, agriculture, and commerce. Later issues featured Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia home. For many decades, Monticello was the standard reverse design, a neoclassical mansion that reflected Jefferson's vision of architecture and innovation. However, in 1976, during the nation's bicentennial celebration, the $2 bill underwent its most famous redesign. The back of the bill was changed to feature a reproduction of John Trumbull's painting, The Signing of the Declaration of Independence. This bold move linked the $2 bill directly to one of the most iconic moments in American history, and it remains the design in use today. Despite these patriotic associations, the $2 bill has always had a complicated relationship with the public. From its earliest days, it was never issued in the same large quantities as the more common $1 or $5 bills. Merchants and consumers found it less useful because most prices were set in round amounts of 1 or 5. Many people considered the $2 bill inconvenient, and as a result, circulation was limited. This scarcity gave rise to a perception that the bill was rare, even though millions were printed. Over the years, superstitions grew. Some people believed the $2 bill was unlucky, perhaps because it was often used in gambling, bribes, and political payoffs in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Others saved the bills as keepsakes, thinking they might someday become more valuable. One of the most common myths about the $2 bill is that it is no longer produced. In reality, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing still prints them, but in much smaller quantities than other denominations. For example, while billions of $1 bills are printed every year, $2 bills are usually printed only when the Federal Reserve determines that banks have a need for them. Large print runs might occur once every few years, and then those bills enter circulation gradually. Because they are infrequently seen in daily transactions, many people assume they are discontinued, when in fact they remain fully legal tender and have never been withdrawn. When it comes to collector value, the story of the $2 bill is complex. Most modern $2 bills, especially those printed after 1976, are worth only their face value. If you receive one in change, you can spend it just like any other bill. However, certain factors can increase the value of a $2 bill on the collector's market. For example, bills printed before 1953, especially large-size notes from the 19th century, can be quite valuable. Red Seal $2 United States notes, issued between the 1920s and the 1960s, are popular among collectors, and depending on their condition and year, they might be worth anywhere from a few dollars over face value to several $100s. Star notes, which are replacement notes issued when a misprint occurs, are also sought after. Uncirculated bills, with crisp paper and no folds or creases, can command higher prices, particularly if they come from a rare series or have unusual serial numbers. One fascinating aspect of the $2 bill is the world of fancy serial numbers. Collectors sometimes pay a premium for bills with repeating numbers, palindromes, low numbers, or numbers with cultural significance, such as 1776 or 2000. A $2 bill with a unique or attractive serial number might be worth significantly more than face value, even if it is from a common modern printing. Similarly, bills with misprints, such as ink errors or cutting mistakes, can become valuable error notes. Another important factor in the history of the $2 bill is its cultural symbolism. Because the bill is associated with rarity, it has become a sort of good luck charm for some people. Many Americans like to give $2 bills as gifts, especially to children, graduates, or newlyweds, as a symbol of prosperity and uniqueness. At horse races and other gambling venues, $2 bills are often used for betting, reinforcing their connection to chance and fortune. Some businesses even deliberately circulate $2 bills to stand out and to remind customers that the denomination is alive and well. Internationally, the $2 bill is often seen as a novelty. Tourists visiting the United States sometimes take them home as souvenirs, believing they are rare or discontinued. In truth, the U.S. government has never stopped issuing them, but their scarcity in circulation makes them seem exotic. This perception actually fuels demand in some collector markets, where people are willing to pay a premium for crisp, uncirculated examples.